I got a problem and maybe you got the same problem, and it's all about underarms. Today we have a back session and something extra maybe that helps you, but when I'm training biceps I always got a problem that my underarms give up. So today we're going to tackle that, but first off the back day. For that we're going back to an all-time favorite of mine, a T-bar row. Probably a year or so you have seen me do it. Since then I quit doing it and went to some stuff that all the rest do. But for me, this one just works the best. So I'm going to do a warming up set, and I think 4 sets, because I want to use my straps at least as possible to strengthen my underarms a little bit. You know me, I'm lifting heavy, using the straps, even though I told you 30 seconds ago that I wouldn't use them. But of course, ego lifting, it's part of my content, I like it. It's not proper, just like the deadlift of last week, but who cares? This works for me, that's why I'm using the belt. And that's all there is, I'm just pushing myself to the hardest. Maybe you should try that as well, because it really helps. But this was for the upper back. Now, of course, we're going to the lats. In my eyes, or better to say, in my perspective of training, this machine is the GOAT for the lats, but just because my mind-muscle connection feels a lot better, because I found a secret trick. When I push down, or rather pull, I try to go outside. Of course, you can't because it has only one traction it can go, but just focusing on pulling it outwards contracts my lats the best. I don't have that feeling when I'm doing a lat pull down, but maybe that's because I simply still don't know the trick to a good lat pull down. But whatever. Now we're going back to the upper, but also a little bit apart of my shoulders, because I quit doing shoulder days from now on. I do my lateral head on an arm day, the back side on a back day, and the front side on a push day. And then of course another lat exercise, because you know me by now, I do multiple exercises per muscle group, but some call it overkill. For me it's enough, because I only train it once a week, and that's why a close grip lat pull down. I was shitting about the lat pull down 10 minutes ago, and now I'm going to do a lat pull down, because that's the kind of idiot that I am. But this one, it's a little bit different than the lat pull down that I showed you on the machine, because I'm not doing a wide grip, I'm doing a really close grip so that I can squeeze it all out. and that was a back workout. But now we're going to go to something useful, the problem that I was talking about. This is an underarm, and like you guessed, you use it for everything. Training back, training bicep, training triceps, chest, you know how it goes. But the problem that I was having, and still have, is when I do a curl, the first repetitions are going fine. But once I go to my second exercise, my underarms can't hold it. It gives a lot of strain towards here. And a strongman that I was talking with 7 hours ago, I don't care, told me, maybe you should strengthen your underarms. And I've always thought they were okay, but it's not okay because I've been sitting with the problem for a year, and we're going to divide it up into two parts. First of all, the size part, so we're going to stretch it out with some weight, and then the endurance part. So to get the muscle bigger, you have seen me do this before. We're going to stretch it out with behind the back wrist curls. But there's one problem with these. They aren't giving you endurance, because there's a difference between holding something like this and trying to grow strength. Just like when you do a plank, you're not growing the muscle, you're training endurance. So what we're going to do is 3 sets of these, like in my normal routine, 12, 10, 8, maybe 6. And then we're going on to the endurance part. And now that we're done with the boring stuff, we're going to go to even more boring stuff.
What? What the fuck?
This is a weighted back, and I'm going to train my endurance like this. Yeah, that's basically it. Just holding something. And a little tip that a strongman gave me, every time I use a bar, I need to grab the plate like this and try to hold it as long as I can. As you can see, that's not long. And like this side, also not long.
That's what she said.
But it's are the little tricks that he is giving me. I'm going to try. So tip 1, grabbing a stupid plate with one hand and hold it as I can't. Hold it as long as you can, and doing something like this. Just holding it. I would do it with dumbbells, but that's cardio, walking from there to here. Not going to do that. So I'm just going to do this, but we're not going to film that because I would even fall asleep while I'm trying to edit it. But it's been 4 weeks by now that you've seen my pump, so we're going to go to a nice spot and do that. And maybe there's one thing you can notice immediately. I lost some fat, only a little bit, not much, but in Japan I lost like 3 kilos, probably a lot of muscle. Let me fix this and do a lat spread. You can't see it properly, so I'm going to do it like this. The muscle is still there. Maybe not as much as I thought, but maybe it's just lighting. Because like this it's a lot better. And the last pose, front relax. Now you don't see anything. But we have work to do, of course. Underarms are going to be priority for now. Because if my underarms are fucking up my bicep training, my biceps get tiny, My biceps are tiny. I can train my back properly. And when I can train biceps, I don't get an aesthetic view because they could be a little bit bigger, just like this here. But I hope you guys enjoyed this, and I'll see you guys next week.